Is this the single most expensive statement of authority in the history of the Philadelphia Phillies? Or is it a desperate gamble that could leave a $20 million hole in the heart of the lineup? Welcome back to the channel, everyone. We need to stop everything and have a serious, deep conversation about what just happened in South Philadelphia. The news broke this Thursday, and it wasn't just a roster update. It was an earthquake. The Philadelphia Phillies have officially released outfielder Nick Castellanos. They didn't trade him. They didn't restructure his deal. They fired him. And in doing so, the organization has agreed to eat a staggering $20 million remaining on the final year of his 5-year, $100 million contract. Let that sink in for a second. Ownership is writing a check for $20 million just to have a player not put on the uniform. This is a move that transcends baseball operations. It is a cultural manifesto being nailed to the door of the clubhouse by Dave Dombrowski and Rob Thompson. To understand why this is happening now, we have to go way beyond the box score. This isn't just about a 250 batting average or a decline in home runs, although those numbers certainly didn't help his case. This is about the disintegration of trust. The relationship between Castellanos and the coaching staff didn't end this week. It suffered a fatal wound on June 17th of last season. We all remember the headlines about insubordination, but the details emerging now paint a much more chaotic picture. Castellanos revealed on Instagram that his benching wasn't just about a heated exchange with Rob Thompson. It was about bringing a beer into the dugout during a game after being pulled for a defensive replacement. Think about the message that sends to a team trying to win a World Series. You have a veteran, a guy paid to be a leader, cracking a cold one in the dugout while his teammates are still fighting for a win against the Marlins. It screams entitlement. It screams me over we. When you combine that behavioral red flag with the fact that he was already losing playing time to defensive specialists like Johan Rojas, the writing was on the wall. The Phillies are telling the league and their own locker room that the Philly standard is non-negotiable. It doesn't matter if you are a two-time All-Star or a rookie. If you disrespect the game and the manager, you are gone. But the question remains, is purging the toxicity worth the financial handicap this places on the franchise for the upcoming season? Let's expand the scope and look at the baseball tragedy of this situation. When the Phillies signed Nick Castellanos to that massive deal, the vision was crystal clear. They were paying for the professional hitter, the guy who was a doubles machine in Detroit and a slugger in Cincinnati. He was supposed to be the protection for Bryce Harper, the guy who made pitchers sweat in the middle of the order. For a while, we saw flashes of that. But the decline has been sharp, painful, and undeniable. Hitting .250 with only 17 home runs and 72 RBIs in 147 games last season is simply unacceptable for a corner outfielder making elite money. In the modern MLB, right field is a power position. You need production, you need slugging, and Castellanos was providing replacement-level output at a superstar price point. We have seen this movie before in Philadelphia, haven't we? This situation echoes the painful end of other high-profile tenures where the contract outlived the performance. Think about the agonizing final years of the Ryan Howard contract, where the loyalty to a past version of a player handcuffed the team's ability to build for the future. The difference here is that the Phillies front office, led by the ruthless pragmatism of Dombrowski, refused to let this drag on for another farewell tour season. They looked at the data. They looked at the bat speed metrics, and they realized that a 34-year-old Castellanos was not going to magically turn back the clock. And this brings us to the succession plan, which is fascinating and terrifying in equal measure. The Phillies aren't handing the job to a prospect. They are pivoting to Adolis Garcia. They signed the 32-year-old to a 1-year, $10 million deal back in December, clearly anticipating this exact moment. Garcia is a physical specimen, a two-time All-Star with a rocket arm that Castellanos could only dream of. But let's not kid ourselves. Garcia is a reclamation project. He is coming off a season with the Texas Rangers where he hit .287 with career lows in power. We are swapping a declining veteran with contact issues for a declining veteran with swing and miss issues. The hope is that Garcia's ceiling, the guy who hit 39 homers and drove in 107 runs for the World Series champion Rangers in 2023, is still in there somewhere. It is a classic change of scenery gamble. The Phillies are betting $10 million that Garcia is hungry, while eating $20 million because they believed Castellanos was full. Now we need to analyze the fallout. How does this decision ripple through the organization? Financially, this is a heavy blow. That $20 million of dead money is a significant chunk of the luxury tax payroll. That is money that could have been used to bolster the bullpen, add a high-leverage starter, or deepen the bench. By cutting Castellanos, the Phillies are effectively operating with one hand tied behind their back in the free agent market for the rest of the winter. It puts immense pressure on the internal development system. If an injury happens to Harper or Schwarber, there is no financial wiggle room to go out and get a big-name replacement. The depth chart is now thinner, and the margin for error is razor-thin. Let's talk about the locker room chemistry, because this is the double-edged sword. On one hand, removing a player who clashed with the manager establishes Rob Thomson as the unquestioned alpha. It eliminates the awkwardness of a platoon role where a highly paid veteran is sulking on the bench. It clears the air. But on the other hand, Castellanos was a human being with friends in that room. He had a bond with Harper. He was part of the daycare dynamic with the younger players like Bryson Stott and Alec Boehm. How does the room react to seeing their friend unceremoniously dumped? And what about the fans? The reaction is already split down the middle. Half of the fan base is celebrating, tired of watching Castellanos chase sliders in the dirt and jog after balls in the corner. They see this as a necessary cleansing. But the other half? They are worried. They look at Adolis Garcia's .227 average and wonder if we just downgraded. What happens if Garcia strikes out 200 times this year? What happens if the offense goes cold in May? The narrative will shift instantly to, why are we paying Castellanos $20 million to sit on his couch while our right fielder can't hit a beach ball? The pressure on Adolis Garcia is going to be suffocating from day one. He isn't just replacing a player, he is replacing $100 million investment. If he starts slow, the Philadelphia Bluebirds will be merciless. This move has removed the safety net. The Phillies are all in on this new direction, and there is no turning back. In conclusion, the release of Nick Castellanos is the end of a complicated, turbulent, and expensive chapter in Phillies history. It serves as a stark reminder that in professional sports, your contract protects your bank account, but it does not protect your roster spot. The organization decided that the combination of declining production and clubhouse friction was a price too high to pay, even if the literal price of firing him was astronomical. They have chosen culture over sunk cost. They have chosen the potential upside of Adolis Garcia over the known quantity of Nick Castellanos. It is a bold, aggressive, and risky maneuver that fits the personality of this front office perfectly. As we look towards spring training, the spotlight now shifts entirely to Rob Thomson. He won the power struggle. He got the roster he wanted. Now he has to make it work. He has to get Adolis Garcia to rediscover his all-star form. He has to ensure the clubhouse remains tight-knit despite the departure of a key personality. The excuses are gone. The distraction has been removed. Now it's just about baseball. This is where I need you, the best fans in baseball, to weigh in. I want you to go to the comments section right now and tell me, was this the right call? Are you relieved to see the Castellanos era end? Or are you terrified that we just threw away a proven bat for a question mark in Adolis Garcia? How do you feel about the $20 million dead money? Let's get a real debate going down there. If you enjoyed this deep dive and want more unfiltered, exclusive Phillies coverage, smash that like button and make sure you are subscribed with notifications on. We are going to be tracking every pitch, every hit, and every roster move as we march toward October. Thanks for watching, stay passionate, and as always, let's go Phils.